Hey everyone, today we're going to make a video which is different from what we usually do, but I think it's important, so I'm going to make it. Now, about a week ago, a little more than a week ago, Boyba made a video called The Sad State of League Solo Queue. It became really popular, and I'll just play a little bit from it here.
Riot, unfortunately, hasn't done anything substantial to address the problems, and I'm talking about the state of League of Legends and solo queue and ranked play, and the general vibes that the community and the players and the streamers all have, and even pro players regarding the state of our league or our game that we all know.
So basically, everyone is having this problem that solo queue is toxic currently. And I agree with that, and I think Riot needs to do more. I actually proposed a lot of times that Riot does a lot of bans, where it's not going to be permanent bans, because I don't think they're very useful, and I don't actually think they're good. But a lot of short bans with free game timeout and so on for high elo specifically, and it's something that you should look at. Now, a really big problem that happens a lot is people are delusional in regarding their own toxicity. And I'm probably that too, like everyone is, most likely. Now, a situation that happened, the reason I'm making this video, is because Malice made this tweet, who's a popular streamer, played in Korea, played in a Korean pro team, I believe, and came to Europe. I haven't had any bad instances with him, so this is an unbiased video for my view, it's an unbiased video, but it still shows a popular streamer doing something which shouldn't be done. So, let's read his tweet. The server isn't toxic, it's just shit. Also, somehow, its general conclusion has arrived at a point where intake and hostage situations are completely fine and acceptable, but leaving the game as a result is forbidden. Lol. No wonder so many pros find solo queue utterly useless. I sure as hell wouldn't play it for any other reason than learning off-roll and new champs when scrims are down. That's what happened. So the situation he's talking about here is about his games, from what I believe. He had a game where he played Evelyn, and he went 0-2, and then he left the game, which is obviously a big no-no. Now, I opened the game because I was curious about the situation. I saw Katel made this tweet as well, and I looked it over, which we're going to look over in a second. Katel tweeted, "It's weird the second they fix the system, you get burger flip 15 games in a row, then rage quit because you can't farm low elo diamond 1. Very happy about jungle playstyle, and then you blame the server." Basically, he's saying that Malice is playing a passive farm playstyle, and it worked really well versus worst players before Riot fixed the matchmaking to tighten the matchmaking. So now when you're playing League of Legends, you're playing against people around your skill level more often than before. Before, you're playing against a wider range of skill. Now, if you go into the game and look what happened, let's go back a little bit, because this is important, right? In the game, Malice is starting red buff or blue buff as Evelyn. He wants Varus to help him. I believe he pings for this. Varus decides not to help him. And enemy elite starts on the red buff and gets the help he needs. Now, Iswell, this is important to know. Iswell does 450 damage to red buff. It's important to know the numbers for this situation, right? And Evelyn does the red buff, cleans it, and she moves up further. Now, what happens here is they do the jungle, which is not very important. They do their clears. Now, what happens here is Elise wants to evade Evelyn. And she's expecting this to work. So what she does, if you take it from her point of view, cleans the grump, she rushes in, she gets spotted by a vision ward even, I believe. Let's go back and check. She gets spotted indeed. So Malice knows that Elise is right here. He knows all of this information. Elise walks in, as expected. She sees the red buff at 1400 health, which means if Varus had done the same amount of damage as Eswell did, it would be at 1000 health right now, essentially. So Elise, if she just rushes in, she could literally just go for the kill straight up. It wouldn't actually have an impact if Varus helped or not. But she decides to just sit and chill because she saw the red buff health. She's going to wait for Malice to be low on health, and then she's going to go in and kill him off, and she's expecting the red buff to be low enough to get an easy kill. She grabs it, and then she walks back out easily. Now, the problem here is what happens a little bit later. I will just move forward. She keeps invading and playing super aggressive. There's not really much Evelyn can do at this point because she's in a really bad state. She gets invaded again. She gets invaded again, and then dies. Now, doing this, she had all this information that Elise was looking for him the whole time. And then he decides to disconnect. Now, the problem here is obviously the fault on Malice. And this isn't a target piece on Malice in any way, but he's kind of making himself the target by doing this publicly. What happened was he was streaming, he tilted on stream, didn't really want to play anymore, and he said, "I have a headache, I'm probably going to play off stream." And then what happens is this situation. He's in a bad state of mind already, he queues up for solo queue, he gets invaded, gets outplayed, and then he tilts and blames everybody else. Now, I think what the problem is, we can't handle solo queue toxicity ourselves. This is something that's going to continue to happen. It's not about Malice, it can be anyone. Most people will do it. unless Riot keeps us in a short leash. It's just gonna happen. It's been happening for a long time. It's never changing, and that's why I think Riot should start handing out very small bans to players unless they do it consistently all the time, even after the bans. And you're like, yo, you know what? This is a serious environment. We have 100,000 or millions of dollars in esport. Esport players needs to practice here. Streamers needs to play here. Everybody needs to have a good environment to play good quality games to make League of Legends look better. And also the community overall should be better, right? So Riot needs to do something, especially for high elo, because there's much more eyes on high elo. And then it's all going to trickle down, and hopefully lower elo is going to be better too by doing that. In this situation, I don't really know if the punishment should be that hard. I think, as I already proposed, a 3-day ban for these kind of situations would be fair in my eyes. It's not like, oh my god, you entered one game, you should be banned forever, or anything like that. Also, I don't really know if Malice should be banned in this instance, because it needs to be something where Riot comes out and says, you know what, we're going to do this moving forward. And then I think they should start handing out bans for it. This situation, I personally don't think anything should really happen to it. He's tell it off his mind. He does this in one game. People tell people ruin games. It happens. If it's not a consistent thing, I don't care too much. But I still think it's important to talk about this subject. Now that we're talking about all the toxicity of solo queue, it's a huge topic in the community. And then this happens for a guy who probably have 2,000 viewers in his stream usually, around those numbers. It's an important topic, and that's why I wanted to bring it up. Anyways, leave your comments below. What do you think should happen? Should Riot actually care about this? Do you think Riot is going to do anything? And do you even care about this? Do you think this is important? And do you think solo queue should actually be looked at stricter? Anyways, that's it for now. Peace out. If you like these kind of videos, tell me so I can make more of them. And if you want me to stick to guides and do nothing else, then tell me that, and I'll also try and do that. Thank you guys for watching.